Hey guys, what's up? So before tonight's episode of Game of Thrones, which will be Season 8, Episode 4, I want to do a video about how I would have fixed Season 8, Episode 3 to make it a better episode. I thought it was disappointing, and not to give away any spoilers for my Star Wars rewatch video, but I think it's The Last Jedi of the Game of Thrones TV show. So, here are some of the things I would have done. My first complaint is, why is the episode so dark? You can barely see what is happening. Okay, there needs to be better lighting. And on top of that, there was a bunch of quick cuts to characters, to scenes, to action. The cuts between the action from cut to cut so fast made it hard for me to understand who was doing what to whom and where it was. It was just a hard episode to follow with the lighting and the quick cuts and that damn Night King cloud he brings in that I guess is there so people find it hard to see what's going on so they can save money on CGI. That blizzard cloud the Night King brings, that needs to be done that should have been done way better. So the quick cuts, the lighting, and that cloud, probably just need to get rid of the cloud altogether. Stay on scenes more, show the battle more. And it's okay if it's dark because it's at night. But you can come up with some way, more fire, more something, just some excuse for there to be more lighting, because it was really hard to see that episode. So I have my complaints numbered. So let's see. First, the trebuchets. For some reason, the writers thought the people who were making the plans, so Jon Snow and all them, were the most incompetent battle planners of all time. What they should have done is they should have fired the trebuchets first, so they could show the whites. Okay, the Dothraki have no clue what the fuck they're riding into, so they should have shot the trebuchets first to show the whites. And the whites should have rushed towards the Dothraki instead of the Dothraki rushed towards the whites. Okay? The showrunners had them just sacrifice all the Dothraki, and it would have made more sense if the Dothraki stayed near the front lines. So if the showrunners wanted to have the Dothraki and the whites fight and then have all the Dothraki die, that's fine. Just fire the trebuchets, show the whites rushing the Dothraki, then have the Dothraki ride out a bit and they meet maybe halfway. So they're not sacrificing the Dothraki. The Dothraki are coming to fight the whites. It makes more sense. Show the Dothraki and whites fighting a little bit, and then you can cut to Dany and Jon on that hill, and they can be looking down, and their perspective can be that cool scene while the Dothraki's swords go out. But having the Dothraki and the whites fight some, and maybe meet halfway, doesn't waste the Dothraki, and we get a cool fight scene. Number 2 would be how Grey Worm die helping light the trench. I don't like how many people survived this episode. It really makes me fear that they're not going to die later. And if they do die later, it's not going to feel like it was the right place for them to die. They should have died here. Grey Worm is one of the first people. He should have died at the trench, helping to light it. Number 4, you have Torment die and Podrick die. I'll get into why Torment and Podrick should die, how they should die later. You should have Varys die in the crypt defending someone. Maybe Sansa or Tyrion or Missandei, push one of them out of the way as a white comes in and have the white hit Varys instead and have Varys die. Next, Brienne should have died saving Jaime. Jaime made her a knight. Brienne is now a knight. Her story arc is finished. Jaime needs to live so he can kill Cersei. Have Brienne die saving Jaime. We should literally have had 5 more people have died this episode. Next, and this is where... Next, Gendry also should have died. He needs to go into the crypt and just have Gendry die in the crypt. I'll get into this big crypt battle that I think they should have done differently in a little bit. So, let's see here. Crypt. I'll talk about the crypt now. So in the crypt, first off, someone should have said something about the crypt maybe being a dangerous place in the previous episodes. And then that point should have been dismissed by someone saying we don't have the time or the resources or something, because otherwise it makes everyone seem stupid because they should have realized the crypt would have been a dangerous place. Maybe have somebody like Sam or John say, you know what, I think these people in the crypt have been dead too long. Have someone acknowledge a reason why they thought the crypt would have been a safe place when you're fighting someone who raises the dead. That should have been done previously, but anyways, in the crypt, Tyrion and Sansa should have fought someone, you know? They had those daggers. They should have showed them fighting someone, okay? And then have Gendry come in. Gendry and Podrick can come in, okay? And they can hear fighting going on in the crypt. Gendry and Podrick can come in, save Tyrion, you know, fight some whites, and have Gendry and Podrick die there. Because I have no clue why they still need to be alive. I have a list at the end of this video. I'm going to talk about why the people I would have killed needed to die and why the people who I would have left alive needed to be left alive. So that's the crypt. Next, have Bran walk into Rhaegal, which is Jon's dragon, and then come in and save Jon from the Night King's dragon, Viserion. Okay? And then have Jon come in on Rhaegal and save Dracarys and wipe out the whites and the generals that are standing behind the Night King when he is in the Elderwood with Bran. Then have Jon get off Rhaegal and fight the Night King. Okay? Showing the Night King and Jon fighting. Jon is said to be the best swordsman to ever live, but have the Night King start to beat Jon. Showing the Night King is truly a badass, because otherwise the Night King literally does no fighting on his own. And then, when Jon is losing, you can still have Arya come in, maybe jump out of the God's Woods, and kill the Night King the same way she does, but we needed desperately to see the Night King fight Jon. That is Jon's entire story arc, is to beat the Night King. Arya has nothing to do with the Night King, but it's okay for her to kill him. I'm okay with that. But we needed Jon to confront the Night King. 8 seasons, Jon doesn't confront the Night King at all. Ever. It's just some bullshit. How I would have had Torment die is Torment could have come and fought the giant that killed Lyanna. Okay? Have the giant hit Lyanna a little harder, have her die. Torment can come in and fight the giant, right? And then have Torment and Giant kill each other, kind of like Lyanna and the Giant kill each other. But Torment is Giant's bane. We need him to die somehow. He has no purpose in the show anymore. He's just a character people like, but he should have been killed by the Giant. It would have been poetic. And then, with all these main characters dying that I would have killed, when the Night King does the thing where he raises the dead up when Jon's chasing after him, it would have been more impactful if more of those characters were characters that we loved. Okay? And the last point before I get to this list of who I would have had die and why, they needed to stop showing the same characters dying 4 or 5 times. It would cut to Sam, would think, damn, Sam's dead, someone would save him, and then it would cut away. And then it would cut back to Sam in like 10 minutes. And damn, man, Sam's gonna die. And then someone would save him and cut away. Do it like 4 or 5 times for all the main characters. You only need one of those shots at the end of the battle, okay? And have all the main characters impaled that are left alive, like Sam and Sansa and them, you know, have one shot at the end of a bunch of characters being about to die. And then when Arya kills the Night King, it saves them all. That makes more sense than showing someone almost dying 4 or 5 different times. Because by then, we don't care. We don't think they're going to die because you've saved them 4 or 5 different times. Okay. Now on to who I think should die and why they need to do so. So when Jorah dies, I think that's fine. He dies saving Dany. That is perfect for his character. Ed dying, saving Sam, is good for Ed's character. Lyanna is a side character, and she's not important to the story. Killing her is fine. People like her. You kill her. It's emotionally impactful. She doesn't matter to the story. It's fine that she dies. Beric died, showing why he was brought back 19 times. That makes perfect sense. Theon, his death completed the story arc. His story arc. That makes perfect sense. Melisandre died after doing what the Lord of Light meant for her to do. That makes sense. The Night King died. He's the bad guy. He needs to die. It makes sense. Viserion is the Night King's dragon. It's a bad guy associated with the Night King. It needed to die. That makes sense. Now to the 6 other people that I would have killed. Grey Worm. He isn't necessary for the story. And it would be fitting after episode 2 where him and Miss Sandy have that happy moment. They both can't be happy. This is Game of Thrones. Grey Worm is to die. He's not important to the story. It would have made an emotional impact if Grey Worm died. Varys is not important to the story either, and could have died doing one heroic thing. Varys never does heroic things, but it would have been a cool character moment to have him die doing one heroic thing. Torment being killed by a giant was poetic, like I said, and he isn't needed for the story. Are you telling me any of these characters that lived are necessary for the story? Torment isn't, Varys isn't, Grey Worm isn't. Next up is Podrick. He isn't necessary for the story, and Podrick should have died saving Tyrion. That would have been a fitting end for Podrick. Brienne isn't really necessary to the story. She had her character arc completed when she became a knight. And Gendry, he got to sleep with Arya. He has a happy moment, and then he can die. And he also saved all those and he also served his purpose by forging those weapons. I don't see why Gendry needs to be alive anymore. So all those people needed to die. And then finally I'm going to leave y'all with a list of the remaining living characters and if I think they should live or die. Arya, first off, she should live. She has earned the right to at this point, Sansa, she should live. She needs to mourn Brienne, resolve her story arcs, and I'd have her actually possibly become queen of Westeros. Bran, he needs to be the three-eyed raven. Killing Night King saves Bran, so I don't think he can die from anything else. Jon needs to resolve all his story arcs in one Torment, and he's probably going to be the king. Ghost should live till Jon actually dies. Dany, she needs to probably die to resolve the story arcs of her fighting with Jon about who's supposed to be rightful king or queen. Sam needs to live to tell the Song of Ice and Fire one day. Tyrion needs to die to resolve some story arcs. Missandei, she needs to mourn Grey Worm's death, but then die in the end. I don't think she really serves a purpose. Jaime needs to live to kill Cersei, and then he can die. Drogon and Rhaegar, I think, both die because they're going to fight each other when Jon and Dany fight each other. And then Hound is going to die. He's fighting the Mountain. Maybe Arya can kill the Mountain when the Hound starts losing that fight. And then he's going to die. So that's it, guys. Those are some of the changes I would have made. Mostly about who I would have killed differently. Some of the scenes I would have had play out differently. What do you think? Like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that. Please support the channel. It means a lot. And thank you. I'll see you on the next episode.